Good evening to all the Biotechnica and Pharmanica students, our subscribers, and everyone who has joined us for this webinar. I'm Dr. Tanushree, and I'm delighted to host this webinar with all of you today. Pharmacovigilance has emerged as one of the most dynamic and fast-growing fields in healthcare and pharmaceutical industry, with the increasing growing emphasis on drug safety, patient well-being, and regulatory compliance. The demand for skilled pharmacovigilance professionals continue to grow worldwide. Recognizing the growing importance and career potential of this field, we have organized this exclusive mentoring session to help address your doubts, answer your questions, and provide valuable insights into the pharmacovigilance industry and career opportunities in this field. So whether your questions are related to the scope and future of pharmacovigilance, skills required to enter the PV industry, career growth, opportunities in pharmacovigilance, or tips to start and succeed in a pharmacovigilance career and much more, you will have the opportunity to directly interact with our experts and gain valuable guidance from their professional experiences. We encourage everyone to actively participate, engage in the discussion, and make the most of this expert-led learning session. It is now my pleasure to introduce our distinguished speakers and panelists for today's webinar. We are delighted to have with us Mr. Chaitanya Kulkarni, sir, who is a general manager at Marksons Pharma with over 19 years of experience in pharmacovigilance and global safety operations. He specializes in building pharmacovigilance departments from the ground up, driving regulatory compliance, and leading large-scale safety data and system implementations. Knowing for his strategic leadership, he excels in transforming complex regulatory frameworks into efficient, scalable operations while mentoring high-performance teams. Mr. Chaitanya Kulkarni, sir, will not only address your queries, but will also share key industry knowledge to help you gain a better understanding of pharmacovigilance field through a short presentation in this webinar. We are also joined by Ms. Geethanjali, who brings more than 3.5 years of diverse experience across multiple domains. She has strong academic exposure in pharmaceutical sciences and clinical research. Ms. Gitanjali has guided many students and professionals in understanding pharmacovigilance operations, case processing, and industry expectations. Currently, she is working with Biotechnica as an academic support specialist in pharmacovigilance and clinical research. Also, we have with us Ms. Sushma ma'am, a dedicated pharmacovigilance expert with valuable experience in pharmacovigilance operations and clinical safety with exposure to global pharmacovigilance workflows through work at Advara and Point Cross. She has been actively involved in mentoring aspiring pharmacovigilance professionals. Currently, she is working with Biotechnica as a scientific expert and trainer, clinical data management, pharmacovigilance, and regulatory affairs, where she leveraged her research and analytical expertise to create high-quality scientific content and train aspiring professionals in life sciences. A very warm welcome to all our esteemed speakers. We truly appreciate your time and willingness to share your valuable knowledge, industry insights, and professional experience with our audience. We are delighted to have you with us for this interactive and informative webinar.
Thank you,
Before
ma'am.
we
Thank you so
begin,
much.
most welcome, ma'am. So before we begin with the first session, I request all our attendees to please feel free to drop your questions in the chat box at any time during the webinar, and we'll address them during the live Q&A session after one of the presentation. Also, we have a surprise gift for you all, so stay connected with us. We can share it anytime during the webinar. So now, without further delay, I would like to invite Chaitanya sir to deliver his presentation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Tanushree. Good evening, everyone, and good evening, other experts on this call. So, without wasting any time, I will run through my presentation. If there are any questions, we will discuss those questions after this presentation. So, in this presentation, we're going to see what are the pharmacovigilance pathways and other opportunities, and we'll touch base upon the role of AI in the current landscape of pharmacovigilance. I'll not go through introduction as Dr. Nisha has already given my introduction. So in this presentation, you're going to see what is pharmacovigilance, why it is a stable career, and what are the different roles in pharmacovigilance, how you can start your career, what are the companies who hire for pharmacovigilance professionals, and how you can progress your career through through different roles, and what is the AI and how it is shaping the pharmacovigilance landscape. And we'll also see there are few skills which you need to keep yourself updated for your to be future proof. Okay, so what is pharmacovigilance? I hope everybody is from life science background, the pharmacy graduates and medical graduates. So you know that all medicines they come with some or the other side effects. Okay, so the pharmacovigilance is a science through which we determine what are the side effects, the long term or the short term effects of the medicine, apart from the beneficial effects. Okay, so this science is gaining popularity among the generation because this is not the traditional role of in the pharmaceutical industry. The traditional role is in manufacturing, R&D, clinical research, regulatory, but pharmacovigilance has emerged as a distinct career opportunity for pharmacy freshers and also for the medical graduates. Okay, then so this is the science through which we detect, assess, and prevent adverse drug effects. So by which we make the drugs more safe for consumption. Okay, and the industry is globally growing, and currently it is somewhere around $10 billion. And India is a primary hub because we have large pool of talent, pharmacy graduate, nursing graduate, life science graduate, medical professional. So all the global pharmaceutical companies are setting up their global delivery centers or global capability centers, what we call them as GCCs in India. And in next 3 to 5 years there's going to be a large number of hiring which is going to happen, and these GCCs are getting set up in Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Pune, and some other major metro cities. So okay, so what is like I said, that pharmacovigilance is a distinct career. It is not a traditional career in pharmaceutical industry. It is a different career altogether, which requires a very different skill set and which require very different mindset from professionals. Okay, so pharmacovigilance is an excellent career option for pharmacy graduates because it requires scientific discipline and it requires skills for analyzing the report and the information which you get generated from the market once the product is placed in the market or during the clinical trials. So this field helps ensure that a medicine we consume are safe, because what happens, like I said, no drug is 100% safe, right? All drugs have different kinds of side effects. So what regulators, like different regulators in the world, like US FDA, MHRA, India, and CDSCO, what they expect from the industry is that we report all the side effects so that they can evaluate all this information and then decide whether the drug is safe to be continued to be marketed or the drug has to be withdrawn from the market. Okay, so drugs found to be harmful can be withdrawn from the market so that there is no harm to the patients. So pharmacovigilance professional, what they do, they continuously monitor the drugs which are available in the market and also the drugs which are undergoing clinical trials currently, which are yet to be marketed. Based upon the data and the analysis and the reports which the pharmacovigilance professionals make available, the agencies can make the decision whether they can allow the product to be in the market or they can grant approval to the new drugs. Okay, so when the new side effect is reported, so what happens? The pharmacovigilance professionals they record and compiles the event in a safety database. So there are different kind of databases like Argus, RSG, VGSafe. So these are all different databases which are regulatory approved, and all the information when it is compiled, there are different kind of reports which can be generated from this database, and these reports are submitted to the agencies, the healthcare agencies like USFD, MHRA, or European Medicine Agency, and then they evaluate this information. And if there are any actions required from the pharmaceutical industry, then they notify the manufacturer or the license holder to take appropriate action to safeguard the safety of the patients. Okay, so what are the different job responsibilities? So if you think of getting a career in pharmacovigilance, so what are job responsibilities? So you have to understand that it is a very critical, and it is very critical function because it directly involves uh, with the safety of the patient and also safe, and to ensure that the drugs which are marketed are safe and efficacious. Because if a drug is safe but not efficacious, then it is of no use, and if a drug is efficacious but it's not safe, then it's not used. So there has to be a balance. The drug has to be efficacious as well as safe for consumption. Okay, the job responsibilities to be fulfilled by the pharmacovigilance professionals is as follows. For example, if you start your career in pharmacovigilance, so you will start with the role of a case processing. Like you will have to collect information from different sources. Like you will get information from patient or healthcare professionals, and also you will be involved in reviewing the medical literatures which are published on different websites. So you have to collect that information, then document it properly, and code the events in the database. Then there is another skill required as a MEDRA coding. So MEDRA is a dictionary. It's called as a medical dictionary for regulatory activities. So this is a dictionary. This is a universal dictionary which helps with the coding of the adverse events so that the term remains equally, and it is universal, and it is equally recognized across all the industry and across all the countries which will receive this report. For example, if I enter fever into this database, then it will generate a typical coding like pyrexia or fever. So all countries will understand it is a fever, for example, because there are certain times, there are certain uh, terminologies which are very distinct. People sometimes tell that I am feeling out of my head. So out of my head is not any medical dictionary. So you, when you code it like out of my head, then using your scientific knowledge or getting guidance from a healthcare professional, you will code it as not feeling well, or um, mental uh, there are some terminologies like not feeling well, or not feeling like myself. So these are some terminologies which gets coded automatically, and then these terminologies are universally accepted and they are synchronized. So then you have to get specialized in understanding how to code these terminologies, how to use this database. Then there are safety reviews, like the person is responsible for assessing the seriousness criteria. There are certain seriousness criteria where you will use your judgment and understand whether the case is a serious case or a non-serious case. Then causality assessment. Causality is like whether the drug has caused this event or whether it has not caused this event. So this understanding has to be developed by the person. And then writing the case narrative. What is case narrative? Case narrative is a small story. Like you write a complete description of the case, what happened to the patient after taking the drug, and what was the outcome of the event, and what was the status of the event at the time of the reporting. So like a small narrative the person has to write, so that when third person is reading this narrative or any agency is reading the narrative, they will understand what happened to the patient. Then there is aggregate report writing. So aggregate report is like what happens after there are certain requirements wherein you prepare PSUs, like periodic safety update reports or drug safety update reports. So these reports are written like once in a 6 months, or once in 1 year, or once in 3 years. So these are the reports which will compile all the safety data received by the company for that one particular drug over the period of 6 months, 1 year, 3 years. They will combine this report in a particular template which is governed by the ICH guidelines, and there are certain sections in which the company will demonstrate that a drug which they're marketing in which they're marketing is safe for consumption. Then there is signal detection and risk management. These are activities by which the company will continuously monitor what is happening with the product in the market, and if there is any issue with the product or any concerns with the product, so that they can highlight this to the agency, and then the agency can guide them the further actions. So then there is cross-functional collaboration, like you have to also work with your clinical research team, you have to work with your regulatory affairs team or your quality teams. So quality teams, you have to work when there is any product complaints or product concerns which are arising for the products, or when you're working with a company whose products are yet to be marketed under clinical trials. So you work with the clinical research teams. And what is more important, then you have to keep yourself updated with the global PV regulations and the technologies which are evolving. Okay, so for a person who wants to start their career, like if it's he's a pharmacy graduate or a life science graduate, what are the different roles they can opt for? The starting level role is the drug safety associate. So what the drug safety associate has to do, they has to collect and process the adverse event report into database. The database, like I said, it's Argus or RG, and perform medical coding. They could also get the role of the pharmacovigilance officer or coordinator, right? So that person will be like coordinating with different teams for collection of information, then processing that information into database, and then also keeping documentation ready. If there is any audit from the agency, then they can document, they can show the documentation, and also ensure that the timelines for reporting is met, so that whenever a case has to be reported to the agency, they are making ensure that the cases are getting reported in timelines. They can also get a role of the case processing associate, wherein they will review all the IC, they will quality check, they will write narratives, or they will ensure that the regulatory submissions are done properly without any errors. They will do the quality checks on the coding. So these are the like some of the basic entry level job wherein companies look for freshers or 0 to 1 years of experience, and they provide appropriate training when you opt for any of these roles. So the basic on the right hand side, you can see a life cycle of the case report. So it starts with the intake. When intake, it could be from the patient, it could be from HCP, from the agency, or from other pharmaceutical company. So once that case is received, then there is a classification whether it's a serious case or a non-serious case. Then if it's a serious case, then it has to be reported within 15 days. Non-serious case, then we have usually have 30 to 90 days for reporting. Then the third step is data entry and coding. So the person has to enter all the information into safety database and do meta coding. Then the fourth step is medical review. So here the medical professionals do the medical review of the entire case and determine the causality of that event. And then the fifth process is the quality check and the submission. Once the case is completed through all the 1 to 4 levels, then the person does the final quality check and makes the submission. Similarly, the entry level role for medical graduates, doctors would be they can join as a drug safety physician, wherein they will be trained to do the seriousness assessment, causality assessment, expectedness assessment. So when I say expectedness assessment, is the labeling assessment. For example, must have seen a leaflet which comes along with the medicine, right? So in that there is one section in which the adverse events are given, like they tell you that if you take this drug, you may experience these side effects. So the medical reviewer is responsible for assessing the document and making the expected assessment of the adverse event in the database. Then the medical physician has also to write narratives or correct the narratives and make the case ready for the regulatory submissions. And they have to use their clinical judgment in the case processing. They can also support the clinical signal detection risk evaluation process. So signal detection and risk evaluation is an ongoing process in which, like I already mentioned, that company has to evaluate the data on a continuous basis and make sure that there are no risk from the product which they're marketing. And they also have to collaborate with the regulatory and the clinical affairs team so that they provide their expertise on the medical evaluation. They can also be part of the PV operation, the clinical trial team. They can be also part of the safety monitoring team in the ongoing studies, and also assist in preparing the drug safety update reports and the PSURs. So these are some of the entry level roles which the medical graduates can opt for if they're pursuing career in pharmacovigilance. Now, what are the eligibility criteria for pharmacy graduates or license graduates? So they could be M.Pharm, B.Pharm, nursing, BSc, MSc Life Science, BDS, MDS, have basic knowledge of pharmacology and drug safety, and understanding what is pharmacovigilance and drug safety, familiarity with adverse event reporting and meta coding. At least they should know some background what is meta coding and what are adverse event reporting timelines as per different agencies. Understanding of guidelines, ICH, GVP, and CDSO guideline. And most important is to have a very good documentation and communication skill. Similarly, for medical graduates, they should have clinical knowledge about assessing seriousness and causality of adverse event. They should be able to draft medical narratives for ICSR and strong grasp for risk management and regulatory compliance. So they should be able to understand analyze the data and derive the risk from the available information, and should have a good medical judgment, and wherein they need to understand how to derive different causalities using different algorithms or WHO UMC system, and or on a hybrid method where they will use the global introspection or WHO UMC system for causality assessment. So basic knowledge, not much in detail, but at least basic knowledge of conducting the assessments. So how about the career progression pharmacovigilance? So you'll start with, like we have seen, the what are the levels where you start. You can start as a drug safety associate, case processor, PV officer, where you'll be focusing on A reporting, meta coding, database management. Uh, Typically, after 3 to 4 years, you can progress to a mid-level role. You'll be getting designation of PV scientist. If you're a doctor, you'll be a medical reviewer or risk management specialist, wherein also you'll be focusing on participating in signal detection, aggregate report writing, and performing the case assessment. And after about 12 or 13 plus years of experience, you could be promoted to a PV manager or director or head of PV level, wherein your focus will be more on the strategy and audit and global compliance and leadership and leading the team. So you'll move away from the technicalities of PV, and you'll be more into people management role. This is just an overview of what is the salary progression in India currently 25 for the current years. So at entry level, a person with a B Farm or a M Farm degree can expect somewhere around 2 to 6 lakhs per annum. After progressing your career for over 1 to 3 years, you can get a PVC associate or safety associate designation, and the salary could range between 4.5 lakhs to 8 lakhs. After progressing to a mid-level career, like after completing 6 plus years, you could get an opportunity to write safety reports or participate in signal detection activities, or perform or get a role of PV quality specialist, and you can earn somewhere around 7 to 16 lakhs. For medical graduates, they could directly start from mid-level career opportunities, like they could start from a signal detection scientist or aggregate report writer, starting the salaries from around somewhere between 7 lakhs, and depending upon the experience, the salary could range from 12 to 24 lakhs after completing 5 years in the industry. After completing 10 years, between people having experience 5 to 10 years, senior physicians, safety physicians, wherein they are able to do complex causal assessment, benefit risk analysis for complex products like biosimilar or gene therapy or chemotherapy, they could earn somewhere around between 24 lakhs to 45 lakhs. Uh, Pharmacy graduates, other graduates, if they're able to, if they progress well in their career and they gain around 12 years of experience, they could reach to team leader manager level of experience and could earn between 18 lakhs to 38 lakhs. So they're at team leader and manager level, they'll be more into operations, managing people and managing day-to-day routine pharmacovigilance activities for the organization. And a person with 12 plus years or 15 plus years of experience who could be a head of PV or PV director, and could earn between 40 to 80. Like this depends upon which company you are joining and which industry you are joining. When I say industry, because you'll understand what I'm trying to say in the next slide. um, I'll come back to this slide, but this is the slide which is more relevant to the previous slide. So you could start your career with a contract research organization like IQVIA, Parexel, Icon, Seniors Health, LabCorp, AppSun, Navitas, Arc Club. These are different companies which are contract research organizations, to which pharmaceutical companies, they outsource the pharmacovigilance activity to these companies, and then these companies do the PV activities for the pharmaceutical companies. Or you could also directly start your career with pharmaceutical companies like Sun Pharma, Cipla, like Markson's Pharma, Reddy, Pfizer, Novartis, GSK. And then because these companies do in-house PV, so you get to get more experience and good expertise while working with these companies. Then there are the service provider companies like IDN consulting company like Accenture, TCS, Wipro, Cognizant, wherein you could learn safety database management. You can learn different type of technology which are required for the pharmacovigilance activities. So, like I said, because contract research organization and service provider companies, companies, they tend to pay more to the people because they want to attract global talent and people who have good knowledge of the industry. These are all traditional, but then we all know that AI is taking over all fields. So AI also, the pharmacovigilance is also not left behind. So there are many companies which are working on the AI, which are changing the pharmacovigilance landscape. So to be relevant in this industry in the next few years, people should learn some AI skills. What is happening? There are companies which are doing AI tools for case intake, meta coding, and narrative and drafting and everything. So all the manual task is automatized using AI tools. Signal detection is like a machine learning tool in which you upload large amount of data and it will generate reports, and the person has also responsible only for reviewing the outcome and determining the conclusion. So doctors and pharmacy professionals could really get a good experience working in these areas. Data visualization dashboards is like large companies like GSKs and Novartis and Pfizer. This company get lakhs and lakhs of cases each year. So the AI dashboard tools, they make a dashboard and then they show which are the products for which there are a lot of complaints coming, which are the products for which there are a lot of recalls happening, or a lot of adverse events are reported for which drug, which products are not safe. So these kind of visualization dashboards are some companies are working on this kind of dashboard. And then continuous learning, so you have to stay updated on keep understanding of what AI tools are currently used in PV industry, and also to understand how to be remain relevant in industry. There are some courses which are available right now, not many, but you could also explore those to understand how AI is impacting pharmacovigilance landscape in India. So, to if you want to have a successful career and to start a career, if you're looking for opportunity, if you're just pass out from college, you can also try and get a PG diploma in PV and clinical research. They're 6 months, 1 year courses. They also give us some hands-on experience on Medra coding, Arcus, and RHA database, so that you at least know what a database looks like. Use networking to the LinkedIn to the fullest, connect your PV leaders, and be take membership of the Indian Society of Pharmacovigilance or joint DIA groups and industry forums, attend conference to know people and connect with the PV leaders, and stay updated with the FDA and EMA guidelines. So what are the different guidelines which are coming up? How agencies are caring more for people and thinking that drugs should be more safer. So what different guidelines they are bringing in and how they want industry to adapt to this guidelines. So stay updated with this. Build your expertise. Like I said, go for a course where they learn, teach you what is meta coding, how to write report, like sample reports, how to write narrative, how to use AI tools. So these skills are going to be more relevant in coming future. And like how you're going to progress your career. So you start with a basic PV associate role. Then if you're a doctor, you'll start with a medical review role. Then you progress your career to PV manager. And if you're able to succeed through all the career progression properly, then by the end of like almost 12-15 years in this, you could be head of PV in a good organization. So this brings me to an end of my presentation. I know I have rushed through the presentation, but if there are any questions, I will be happy to take them. And if there are any other questions which we are not able to take, the host can take them and then send it to me, and then I can answer them offline. Thank you, Dr. Tanushree, for giving the opportunity. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to take them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for providing such valuable insights on job opportunities, entry-level roles, and skills, particularly AI skills and career
Right.
path and growth. Like it was indeed a very insightful and informative presentation. So thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, Doctor.
So uh, you're welcome, sir. So we'll now open the So everyone will now open the floor for the questions. So a quick reminder to all the Biotechnica and Pharmanica subscribers and all those who are attending this webinar today, please feel free to post your questions in the chat section. So I'll begin with the first question, which is from Ash Tyagi. Final year integrated MSc student with research experience at University of Glasgow, University of Cambridge, and AstraZeneca. What advice would you give for breaking into pharmacovigilance from an R&D background? Sir, would you like to answer this question?
So is this person in India or he is abroad? Yeah,
Uh,
because
Ashtagi, can you please confirm in the chat?
yeah. So even it doesn't matter if you have a background in R&D or just fresher from college. If you can demonstrate that you have good understanding of the pharmaceutical industry and at least understanding what is drug safety and pharmacovigilance, there are multiple opportunities for freshers which are currently coming up with CROs industry, like what the industry which I mentioned, Apsa, Navitas, LabCorps. So these are industries which, like I mentioned in my presentation, that there are GCC centers, like Global Capability Centers. So if you search, if I think you're based out in Bangalore, right, you know that there are Sanofi and the GSK, the companies are setting up the big centers in these areas where they hire people around roughly thousand plus people they hire for performing the pharmacovigilance activity. So I don't think there could be any challenge for this person to get a entry level job, but they have to keep trying, and if they're willing to relocate to India, or in India if they relocate to any place like the Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Pune, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, I don't think there could be any challenge for them to get a job.
Sir, he mentioned that he is in UK abroad currently.
So UK, the market is little stagnant because, like I said, companies are consolidating their business and choosing India as hub for doing pharmacovigilance, because pharmacovigilance is very extensive in terms of labor effort. So India being a talent pool where you find people do the work which requires a lot of labor, not physical labor but mental labor. So like there are a lot of you need a lot of people to do this kind of work. So it's very difficult for companies to hire people in UK, and because of the budget constraints, so companies are migrating to India, and they're setting up centers in India, wherein they're hiring lots of people and getting good opportunities to work. In UK, you will have to. It's a little difficult right now because I know people who have been there, and I'm not trying to scare you, but they are losing their jobs because the jobs are getting migrated to India. So if you have any plans to come back to India, then I don't see any challenge for you to getting a job in India. But this is the fact.
Thank you so
I'm
much,
trying
sir,
to
for
be, and I'm trying to be very honest. Sorry for that.
no, we really appreciate that, sir, and thank you for providing such detailed and wonderful explanation. I hope this answers your question, Ashtagi. Moving over to another question. So we have a question from Nadeem that I'm a MSc biochemistry graduate. How can I enter into pharmacovigilance? Like, can you discuss on job packages?
I think it's already mentioned in my slide, and if you are a MSc biochemistry, then it is better for you to do a small course in pharmacovigilance. If Biotechnica is able to help you with any course, or if they can suggest any course which you can do, I think you should definitely do that. And because it will give an upper hand with as compared to other freshers who are out from college, because industry, this is a very critical industry, and now it is very difficult for people to hire fresher and then train them, because nobody wants to train a clean slate. So if I have to hire somebody, I'll hire a person who at least have some background and understanding of this field. So if you're able to do a 6 month or 1 year course, then I would definitely, that agency also will be able to help you to get a job. They can arrange any for any interviews or campus interviews, and otherwise also you will be able to find good opportunities on LinkedIn where they're able to hire freshers who have at least some knowledge about this industry. So I'll suggest that you do a small course, because uh, again, when it comes to industry, again, I'm because I hire people very frequently. If I have to choose between a pharmacy graduate and an MSc graduate, I'll prefer an M.Pharm graduate or B.Pharm graduate. So just to have a little upper hand, you should think of doing at least a small course in pharmacovigilance.
Thank you so much, sir. Moving over to another question. So I think we have a very general question that does MSc chemistry student can do clinical data analyst? Sushma ma'am, would you like to
Yeah.
answer this question?
Yes, ma'am, definitely. So yes, MSc chemistry, biochemistry, anything that's related to chemical world, of course, if they can get into the world of pharmacovigilance as analyst, or I mean, with respect to the basic knowledge about clinical research, if they can try learning about, as sir mentioned, the basics about the clinical research, the background, the analytical skills that requires to understand the concepts, then definitely it's not that it's the chemistry background is not a hindrance in that case. But yeah, basics is something that one has to learn, like the research, data management, what is clinical databases, what are the databases world runs about. So yes, ma'am, definitely they can get into.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Moving over to another question, which is from Anjali. So Anjali wants to know that, sir, can you please throw some light about job opportunities for MSc Biotech past, as we don't have that much knowledge of clinical research and PV domain, and what opportunities are there?
See, MSc Biotech also can get into the entry level job of data entry, case processing associate. There is not an hindrance to that. But again, Also, clinical research and PV are two separate domains. You have to understand. Clinical research is pre-pharmacovigilance. Okay, the pharmacovigilance post-marketing and clinical research is pre-marketing. So clinical research is like when the product is still under testing, it's not in the market. Okay, so a biotech, if you want to pursue a career in clinical research, then you have to look at the opportunity like a clinical research associate or a CRA, what we call it as, or clinical trial assistant. Okay, so these roles requires a lot of traveling, and because it requires you have to go and monitor the sites where the clinical research is actually happening, right? Or and PV is like when the product is already approved by the agency and it's marketed. So once it's in the market, you start monitoring the product for its safety. So that is PV. So if you have to make sure that what job domain you have to choose. If you want to choose clinical research, then you have to focus your job search in an area for clinical trial assistant or a clinical research associate. Sorry, uh, or a clinical data analyst in that role in that specific area, and then you have to make um, upgrade your skills. Like there are certain courses which focus only on clinical research, they don't involve PV. So they'll teach you what is the clinical research, what are the different phases of clinical research, then what is the role of a CRA, how to do the documentation, how to approach the agencies for approvals, what are the documentation, what are the file management, no clinical file management. So there are different activities which you have to do. So there are certain courses which are completely aligned to that role. So it's there when you will understand all the nitty-gritties of that area. And then if you want to do PV, like again I've already said, because you're MSc Biotech, I don't think you will have any problem in getting a entry level loan in PV if you do your proper research and apply for multiple opportunities. But just to get an upper hand, try to do a 6 months or 1 year course so that you have a certification. Even there are free certificate courses, some of the courses which are available, which are free, of course, and wherein you can do the pre-recorded course and get a certificate. So, but at least you do some upscaling of your knowledge. It is you'll have an upper hand, but getting into PV, I don't see any challenge for you. You can
Thank
look
you
out
so much,
for
sir.
companies which are currently hiring, like TCS, Cognizant, Wipro, Accenture is currently hiring for a lot of people in Bangalore.
Thank you, sir. Moving over to another question, which is from Weber. What are the essential skills that we should learn during our UG or PG days to enter in this field of pharmacovigilance so that it will be very much easier during job hunt after graduation? Geethanjali ma'am, would you like to answer this question?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Yeah, so Vaibhav, see, when you are still in your UG or PG, so I think you need to concentrate more on the basics part. So where you start with, knowing about the diseases, drugs, or let's say the medical terminologies, what we use, and basic regulatory stuff. So like, knowing about the guidelines and how countries work. So basic things like how trials work, clinical trials work. So all these basics will definitely help you during your college. So after, like, once you're done with it, or maybe simultaneously, you can just start upgrading yourself, try to learn what are the tools which is being used in either PV or research, like wherever you want to go. So that way it will be easier for you. So be strong with your basics. So that is what matters more. Like, start learning about adverse reactions, what happens. So what are the drugs majorly involved, and try getting information on literatures. Okay, start reading literatures, articles, and all this. So this will definitely help you gain skills there, and it will be easier for you to perform in an interview.
I'd like to add here, if he is doing PG in pharmacology. Okay, if it's a pharmacy graduate or postgraduate, there's a echo.
I think there's a eco, so yeah.
Okay, so they can also think of doing their thesis or project on pharmacovigilance. Right now, many universities uh, are suggesting students to do a thesis on pharmacovigilance or do a case study. So if you're able to demonstrate this during your interview that you've already done some project work, so it is an add-on for you to get a job.
Thank you so much, sir. There is another question from Webber that what is the future of pharmacovigilance regarding the automation of very basic tasks which a fresher usually performs?
It's for me. Yeah. Okay. So
Any of you can take
automation.
up the.
Yeah, sorry, I'll take that, and the experts can add to it. So automation is going to happen, but it is not going to happen right away. It is because technology is changing very fast. Every 6 months, there are some updates. So automation would come, but it is not going to come right away. It will still need at least 5 years to complete automation, and still because it's we are dealing with drugs, so the agencies will not accept 100% automation. So whatever AI tools will come, it will always be human in loop. So it's a term like human relevance will never go away. So if you are properly skilled and updated, you don't have to worry about AI tools and AI automations. But for that, you have to keep upscaling and keep your knowledge up to date and be relevant in the industry. But for next 5 years, I don't see a major challenge for the opening level roles. Thanks. Any other
Thank you, sir.
expert want to
Sushma
add?
ma'am, yeah, Geethanjali ma'am, would you like to add something?
Yes, ma'am. As sir mentioned, it includes a couple of points about ethical considerations about the patient safety, the drug manufacturing phase safety, and also maybe automation can be put in where you need to erase the duplicates the during SAE reconciliation, or maybe during understanding the case flow, whether the flow is happening or the case triaging. But again, human expertise is very much important because a severe headache and headache is just an headache for an AI or an automated tool. But for us, we know what severity headaches can come with. Just an example. So, yes, ma'am. Not that
True,
uh, remote. It's remote again. I mean, we're very not so soon, as sir said.
And there are a lot of small
true,
companies in India, right? Or
Mm.
mid-sized company who cannot afford automation right now. So they're going to need people. So you don't have to
Correct.
worry about it. You have to just focus on getting a job first and keep yourself updated and then progress through your career. So there will be ample opportunities for everyone.
true, sir. I hope this answers your question, Vaibhav. There is a question from Aditya Raj, currently in the third year of B Pharma. How can I approach towards the pharmacovigilance field? Gitanjali ma'am, would you like to take up this question?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. So, yeah, Aditya, so I think, yeah, the same thing goes for you as well. So, you're still in your UG, so you can start with your basics. So, that is what I would say. Start searching for, start looking for things like, what companies are hiring, what are the PV companies, which you can look for, and what is your current interest, what's your field of interest, and let's say like which location are you looking for a job. So all this matters, so start with all the searches and start with your PV basics. So as I had like previously mentioned, like try to know all the basic medical terms, diseases, drugs, and so you can also start things like how what are tools used and all this. So this way you will get knowledge. By that time you will come to an understanding whether you want to go into this field or not. So that way you can just take it forward. So if you like feel that software jobs works for me, so then yeah, software, drug safety, you can go ahead with it. So or maybe because you're still in your third year, if you want to go explore more on different perspectives like clinical research, or maybe like any other specific stream you want to go into, so you can still explore you because you still have time. And yeah, that's so I think that is answer.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would just want to inform all our attendees that please post your questions related to pharmacovigilance field. Today we have a panel of PV experts, so we are taking particularly the questions which are related to pharmacovigilance. So I request all the Pharmanica, Biotechnica, all the subscribers and attendees to please post your questions related to pharmacovigilance field. So moving over to another question, which is from Zafreen. that I have masters in clinical nutrition. So getting CSIR net qualification in this field will be beneficial to me if I switch my career to pharmacovigilance.
So, how much experience does she have?
Sorry, sir, can you please repeat?
If she's already working and if you want to change career, then how much experience she have? Because uh, changing career is
She,
a little difficult.
I think, sir, she mentioned only about that she is masters in, like, he's masters in clinical nutrition. So not in job currently.
So,
Or,
what is a basic
yeah, he's mentioned I have
qualification
5 years experience.
and what is a primary
He's
qualification?
mentioned, sir, I have 5 years experience.
And what is a primary
Masters in clinical
qualification?
nutrition.
But primary, the graduation,
Uh,
undergraduate.
Zafreen, Zafreen, can you please post your basic
Yeah.
qualification?
So after 5 years of experience in certain domain, it is a little difficult to go back to pharmacology because she has to start like a fresher. And then again, it is challenging because then her salary expectations would be different. Her experience is different, so she could face little bit challenges in getting entry level job in pharmacology because she has to start with. And I don't know what her role is as a clinical nutrition. Is it in where she's working currently, is it some industry or she's working as a freelancer? I'm not sure about that, but after 5 years experience, it could be little bit challenging for her to get uh, go back to pharmacovigilance because she has to start with as a fresher. And like I said, there are a lot of freshers already available and a lot of pharmacy freshers coming out of college every year, so she has to compete with them. And then but a little difficult for her to get a role. This is my personal
So she
opinion.
has mentioned, she has particularly mentioned that I have bachelor's in biology, chemistry, and nutrition, and experience in
Yeah,
dietetics field. And I've worked as a dietitian for 5 years.
great. Yeah, little difficult as per my experience. If she could
Yeah.
do more, some kind of courses in her current field, so I think she could progress more easily in this field itself. Because if she go back to pharmacovigilance and she has to start from scratch, and then she'll lose her whole 5 years experience. So I would not recommend her to,
Sushma,
until unless if she is ready to sacrifice all 5 years experience and start with a very basic salary of 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs. Then if she tries hard, then she can get. But I would not suggest that, and it's little difficult.
thank you. Thank you, sir. Sushma ma'am, Gitanjali ma'am, would you like to add something?
Yes, ma'am. Again, as sir mentioned, one thing she should be ready to like sacrifice the 5 years. I mean, of course, not maybe. I mean, that's not something that she would choose for. Again, she can upskill if she's really aiming for the PV field or something like with Python, R, and bioinformatics tools. If she's ready to upskill like quickly enough to understand what all such tools comes with, and then the basics of the ICSR case processing and everything. Yeah, but that's something that we won't recommend because 5 years is not a
Mm.
small thing to
Hmm.
sacrifice. But again, depends on her interest.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. There is a question from Purna that I have done an MSc in molecular biology and bioinformatics. Can I go into this field, that is pharmacovigilance? Gitanjali ma'am, would you like to take up this question?
Yeah, sure, sure, ma'am. MSc in molecular biology and bioinformatics. All right. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So, Purna, you are, see, you actually have a strong background. You can still get into this field, but see, only if you're focused on going into the drug safety role, I think that this might be suitable for you because, yes, because you have the basic, foundations here, like because you're from a biology background and like you already have the partial skills, I would say. So if you are literally like keen into going into a drug safety, then you can choose by as I said, starting with an entry level role. But yes, bioinformatics will still help you, like for example, if you want to go into some signal detection roles or maybe some data analysis roles. So yes, this way it can, you can look into that way, where you can focus on, data analysis roles. So that way, yes, this will be helpful for you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. There is a question from Crazy World that it is difficult for freshers to get a job in pharmacovigilance.
It's
Okay.
So,
not
is that
difficult.
right?
No, it's not difficult, but you have to keep applying to different companies. Will be very active on job portals like LinkedIn, Naukri, Indeed, and well, like I said, there are a lot of recruitment happening currently because there are a lot of I've seen a lot of internship opportunities also popping up on LinkedIn. Uh, the person has to be ready to know if they want to start a career, then they should not focus on money because I've seen some examples where people are not ready to take an internship role because the stipend was less or or the it was a fixed duration job. So if at all if you're able to get this kind of opportunity, I think I would suggest you just pop onto that opportunity and bounce and take it off. If you're getting any internship roles, you're taking any fixed term contracts, because you are at least ahead of many people who are yet to start their career. You're at least one step ahead. So not difficult. You keep exploring sites. So you can to start a career. I would suggest you start with the ITES company like TCS, Wipro, Cognizant, Accenture, or any CRS, because they hire in bulk. Because if they get a project, they hire for 500 people, 600 people in one go. So there are a lot of opportunities. So you have to visit their website. Look, IQVIA is one of the biggest CRO in the India. So you go, keep on visiting the portals, keep on applying, because uh, they keep the profile in their database, and as soon as an opportunity, they get back to you. So I would also suggest, like all the attendees in this webinar, that make a very solid resume of whatever you have done in your career, whatever education you've been through. You can take some professional help. I think if you're able to help them, Biotechnica, if we are able to help them build a resume, then you can provide the service. Spend some money, it's worth it. You get a very solid CV, because all the companies are using now ATS technology, where they just screen through your CV and for the keywords. So if you have proper keywords in your CVs, there are like very high chances of you getting selected for the job, or at least get an interview. So two things: have a very solid CV, and then keep on applying on the companies which I've mentioned in my presentation, because they hire in bulk, and there are a lot of um, development happening currently in cities like Hyderabad and Bangalore, where companies are setting up their global capability center. I'll give you an example. Amgen is one of the biggest American company who has set up recently in a very big center in Hyderabad. They have winded up all the business in America, and then they have relocated most of the opportunities in India. So they have hired a lot of people in pharmacovigilance Hyderabad. So these are kind of opportunities which will come up, which will keep coming up. So you have to just try to keep on visiting the websites and keep on applying and have a very good CV for. We take CV very lightly, but that is the biggest mistake what we do. So you have to keep your CV very solid. Put everything whatever you have done throughout your career into that CV, and then and because the recruiter don't see you at first, they only see your CV. So if you're able to provide that service to your subscribers, then it's a great thing to do that.
Yes, sir. I would like to add that definitely we do provide the resume building guidance to our students, those who enroll in our courses. So there is a particular session on
Yeah,
resume building, and even our
correct.
experts, they provide the feedback on the resume. So we are
Correct.
helping on that as well
So all the
to
students
our
who are in part
members.
of this
Yeah,
presentation, please take this service from and get your CV done. We don't focus on that, but it's very, very important to have a good CV.
true, true, sir. One of our attendees wants to know that which specific software is suitable for this field. Sushma ma'am, Geethanjali ma'am, would you like to answer this question? So this question is from Nadeem. Which specific software is suitable for this field?
Yes, ma'am. Basically, it's about Argus and RSG that pharmacovigilance focuses on. But starting from the MEDRA hierarchy, learning the MEDRA hierarchy, the tool, how MEDRA basically works. Of course, it's not accessible to the non-industry people, but still understanding the hierarchy, what comes first, what comes next, and what is the necessity of such hierarchies, and excelling ourselves in Excel itself is a very good. I mean tool, again Power BI, and the understanding of World Health Organization drug website, and all such things will definitely help us because it's always about the safety databases that we'll be working on. So yes, ma'am, such tools, that's what I can share. Maybe Gitanjali ma'am can add.
Yes, so these like Arcus and RSG are major players in PV, I would say. So, but still, if on a wider scope, if we see, yes, we still have a lot more. But when it is focused to PV, so these two are the major players what we have. But yes, of course, we cannot access because it's a licensed one and only access to industrial people. So yeah, they can go to the websites and learn how the software is evolving. So what are the features it has, so how it is helping in PV, so what are the configurations, so all these basic things they can probably learn from the websites, like the Oracle one or LifeSpear website. So they can just go through those websites, which definitely is will give them some information.
Thank you so much, Sushma ma'am, Geethanjali ma'am. So I can see so many questions coming up, but due to time constraint, I won't be able to take them all. So I will be taking last two questions now. So one of the question is from Rupesh that I am currently a PharmD fourth year student. What are the computer basic and advanced skills I should be learning along with Python to stand out with freshers applying in PV? Sir, would you like to take up this question?
Yeah. So if you want to, because of as a fresher, you would not directly need Python, in pharmacovigilance at the start of your career, because you will be the role which you will get is of entering information in database, writing narrative, meta coding, what Sushma madam mentioned. Like, these are the skills which the company will look like, would be looking for in the person when they're hiring. Uh, if you want to do coding, then see, there are two distinct career prospects in pharmacovigilance. So, for example, uh, if you want to go in coding and management of database, you are directly competing along with people who are from the IT background or engineers. Okay, so you are competing with a different set of people, and who may have a very different skill set than what you have. I don't know you person, but this is I'm just considering as a general pharmacy professional or pharmacy student. The technological knowledge which a pharmacy student will have and a technical knowledge which a engineering student have will drastically differ. Okay, so if at all you want to pursue your career in technical science, then there are different courses. There are a lot of courses now. Not I cannot list only one course. Like, there are Python, then there are different data analysis courses. For example, what we can say, Tableau, or
Yeah.
other
Power
data
BI.
assess. Power BI, yeah, sorry, I was not able to recall that name. Yeah, Power BI
Yes.
or Tableau. So these are different courses which you'll have to do, and then you have to start finding a role in that area. And then, like I said, you'll have to compete with people who have more knowledge about technical aspects of a database and technology than what you may have, because you have studied for pharmacy for 5 6 years of your career, and when the other person has studied for technology for like 6 7 years. So if you are interested, definitely you can look out for doing courses in Python, Tableau, Power BI, or any other. There are multiple. I'm sorry, I'm not from the domain, so I don't remember exactly, but there are different courses which you can do, and then start looking for your career in um, database management, or um, database implementation, or data analysis. But if you want to do a proper PV, and you have to start come to the other side of pharmacovigilance, where you will be involved in analyzing the patient report, writing summaries, writing clinical narratives, making assessment. Then you will have to focus more on medra. There are certain courses which are free of available on the European Medicines Agency EMA websites. And they even have links to different courses which are paid courses, and the certificates is globally recognized. Okay, so you have to choose that path and go and learn PV in technical terms, not in not I mean technical term is like the one which is which deals with the tools and database and everything. But then if you want to come on the other side, where you'll be involved in understanding the clinical relevance of the case, understanding the concept of safety and efficacy, then you have to do other kind of courses like meta coding, or understand what are the different ICH modules and GMeet modules, and then carve your career through that point. But yeah, you have to first make up your mind what exactly you want to do, what is your interest. If Sushma wants to add something, that if I miss something, maybe she can add.
No, sir, it was
Sushma ma'am,
very
if I may.
yes, sir. It was very apt, sir. As you mentioned, PV specific technical tools is more important if the orientation is towards PV, like the ICSR, ICH guidelines, and also like the basics of PowerPoint,
Yeah,
Excel. There is a
correct.
AI Excel, AI based Excel where you can
Correct.
master yourself with that also. So yes, that's much enough.
Correct.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir and ma'am. One last question. So there are few attendees who are in class 12. So there's a question from Subendu that I'm in class 12 from PCMB. So if somebody is from like just doing 12th and wants to make a career in this field, so how one can start their career? So Subendu wants to know how I can start my career if I want to make a career in pharmacovigilance particularly.
So after 12th, if he is able to do his medical, then he will have a good start, because he has still to choose between pharmacy, life science, and medical. So if he is able to pursue his MBBS, then he can easily get into pharmacovigilance, the medical reviewer, or a safety physician. So first he has to focus on his 12th, and after that, if wants to not pursue medical and do pharmacy, then we have already discussed what are different avenues what he can pursue. But yeah, if he's able to do MBBS, then he could directly start from a mid-level career, what we have seen in the previous presentation.
Geethanjali ma'am, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. So when we are like you're still in your 12th, so you have to explore things like what interests you. So you have all, your scope is wide open to medical, life science fields, and so much other streams also. Like you have so many other things like, bioinformatics, radiology, molecular biology, genetic science. So there's like lot of opportunities for you. So before deciding on something, is you can just spend few days, try to collect information about all the fields available, what are the scopes, like what's the future scope of each and every stream, and then you can dig deeper into it, so that way you will be able to come to an idea of what you really want to go into.
Well said, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much. So as I said earlier, there are too many questions, but due to time constraint, I won't be able to take them now. So those whose questions have not been answered, please don't get disheartened. You can always post your questions at cst@biotechnica.org, and our experts will be happy to answer them. So with this webinar, we have learned that definitely pharmacovigilance is a very rapidly growing and promising career field. So if you are someone who are looking to build a strong foundation in pharmacovigilance and land a high demand job in pharmaceutical or healthcare industry, you can join Biotechnica's and Pharmanica's 60 days pharmacovigilance online hands-on training program with Medra coding, vigilance tools, AI in drug safety, and with 1 and 2 months project work. So this mentored self-paced program with weekly live doubt clearing sessions is designed to make you industry ready with real world projects, expert mentorship, and 100% placement assistance. So whether you are a fresher or a working professional looking to upskill, this program is your gateway into the fast-growing world of drug safety. So participants interested in building a successful career in pharmacovigilance are encouraged to explore this learning opportunity. Now it's time for the surprise gift. A link will be shared in the chat section by our team, and you can fill out the form through the link and receive your free gift, which is a ebook on pharmacovigilance one-on-one, a beginner's guide. So it's an ebook on pharmacovigilance one-on-one, a beginner's guide. So as we come to the end of today's webinar, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all our esteemed speakers, Mr. Chaitanya Kulkarni sir, Ms. Geethanjali ma'am, and Ms. Sushma ma'am for sharing your valuable knowledge, practical experiences, and career guidance with our audience today. Your insights have truly helped participants gain a clear understanding of the pharmacovigilance industry and the exciting career opportunities it offers. I would also like to thank all our attendees for joining us this evening, participating actively, and making this session interactive and meaningful. We hope today's webinar has provided you with valuable guidance, clarity, and motivation to explore opportunities in pharmacovigilance. So have a wonderful evening ahead, and we look forward to connecting with you again in future sessions. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you.